Welcome in, Dallas Cowboys fans. We have some breaking NFL news this Monday morning. A Pro Bowl corner is being cut. Is opportunity knocking for the Dallas Cowboys? Did one phone call fix the Micah Parsons Cowboys drama? That and all the Cowboys news as we are now at mandatory minicamp week. Welcome in to How Bout Wow.
The only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Yes, sir. I am Gavin Dawson from 105.3 The Fan, and my How Bout Wow co-host, former Kentucky All-Academic offensive lineman, New Bear. Good day to you, buddy. How the heck are you?
Day 5, hanging tough.
Look at that, man. And playing hurt. We love it. Tommy John surgery last week?
It's tiny Tommy John. It's the thumb, not the elbow. But
Okay.
I was joking also that it was baby Brock Purdy because there's like a dissolvable plate in there or some shit. So fun times.
Tiny Tommy John on a very big man, New Bear, and I'm looking forward to a lot of big news. New corner available, okay? Jaire Alexander, and CBS Sports wrote about it, the most likely landing spots, but the Cowboys, if we scroll down, are in here, and I think it's something they have to pick up the phone and try to get sorted out, New Bear. What do you think?
So the big thing that we were just talking about heading into this is this news goes back to the Pickens trade. This goes back to pre-draft and Jerry Jones talking about trades, plural, being in the mix. And what's different about this and going from corner to covered is what the title of the article that you wrote about the cornerback situation is in Dallas, is when you're talking about a Mike Hilton or a Gilmore and you're talking about guys on the wrong side of 30 or other reasons, injuries and what have you, why guys are available at this time. This is a little different, right? Because this guy's available. You said Pro Bowl. He's all pro, actually. When you go back and look at it, when he's healthy, the last 2 full seasons, 2020, 2022, he's all pro too. The problem is 21, 23, 24, dude barely played a full season's worth of games.
Yeah,
right?
7 games the last 2 seasons.
And then 4 years ago or 5 years ago, right? So it's like if he's healthy, he's all pro. If he's not healthy,
right. Yeah. I mean, so at 27 years old, you're still confident he's going to be in his athletic prime for the next 3 to 4 seasons. I guess in a perfect world, New Bear, it would work out that he comes in and right around the time he gets hurt, Trayvon Diggs is getting healthy, because with players like this, I don't believe it's just bad luck. I think injured players keep getting injured. So if you bring on Jaire Alexander, and by the way, it'll be an incentive-laden deal, 10 to 12 million. Maybe 5 base. I think the risk could be low for the Cowboys, and it hits that sweet spot of $5 to $8 million that they've been looking at for free agents. But other than Bland, you're looking at Kaiir Elam, who's at best below average. You're looking at Siobhan Ravel, the rookie, and then after that, it's even bigger question marks unless you want to bring in Stephon Gilmore. So this is one that you're going to have a lot of competition for, and maybe the price gets too steep for the Cowboys. But if you want to win a championship here in 2025, we've talked about this George Pickens window. There is an opportunity here, but you can't leave gaping holes on your roster if you want to win in today's NFL.
Alexander, it's not as acute as some of the other conversations we've been having about Diggs and Ravel either, right? Because it's shoulder, it's knee, it's groin. Like some of the things are related, right? Hip bone's connected to the leg bone connected. But he's also had some freak injuries. He's also just had some availability and questions about, like we've had with Diggs, where how serious is he taking rehab, or how committed to the program is he when you're talking about contracts. And like you said, he's entering his age 28 season. And when you look at this and you think about all of the contributing factors, when you talk about what could be Alexander, what is with Diggs and Ravel, a lot of the combination of these things would ease any of those guys having to play 80, 90+% of the snaps. So you made the joke about like right around the time Alexander would get hurt, Diggs would be coming back. If you can get enough of these guys in incentive-laden roles and in positions where everyone's kind of optimizing the situation because it is what it is, they're able to take some of that burden off of each other.
Yeah, here's the Eagles listed as well, CBS Sports. You know, I think that this does come down to how much do you want it, and Jeffrey Lurie has just been able and willing to sacrifice whatever money. Like they're selling equity in the team to finance contracts and spreading the cap hit out. So, you know, is this going to come down to which owner wants it more? If he goes to the Eagles after, you know, both Darius Slay and Isaiah Rodgers left in free agency. They're left with Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson, along with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. If they get richer in their secondary, which really was the big difference with them last year, taking that big step, that would sting. You know, and it would be another reminder that the Cowboys are never really going to try to build the iconic, unbeatable team. They're trying to build enough to get to the playoffs and then believe that the bounces are eventually going to go their way once they get to January. And I just think that team building approach might be antiquated, New Bear. I think it leaves way too much luck involved.
The same thing that you're talking about is that depth, though, gives you more opportunities to miss. Depth gives you more opportunities to come back around as well. If there's a lull or a midseason swoon, or you drop a couple games here and there because you're not healthy as you go through an 18-week slate. What's fascinating about what you're talking about with the Eagles versus the Cowboys is who's closer to compete. I mean, the Eagles would be going back to back. So if you're Alexander, you're talking about how much do you want it? It's what's the dividing line? Is it money or is it rings? And if you're looking at the Cowboys right now, and he's still young, but he's also on the back end and the wrong side of injury history and of some of the other things that come with, what he's dealing with, what he's been dealing with for years now. And so we're not necessarily talking about, $100 million. He comes in and plays in Dallas. He has more of an opportunity to go back to being the guy and having the spotlight on him. Whereas if he goes to Philly, he's just going to have to kind of roll into the fold and be part of the system, be a good soldier, go through the process, be a different type of player. The expectation would be he would be coming to Dallas to prove that he can be the guy, get paid one more time.
Yeah, man, that is great stuff there from New Bear. And it'd be interesting because I think Jaire is at a time in his life where the money has been satisfied. Do you want to win? Would you want to come play for the Cowboys? That's always a factor that's out there. A lot of these guys, they have an attraction to the star like it's the Yankees or Lakers, or a lot of them have family that are huge Cowboys fans, and it would just be too much fun to pass up. So we'll be tracking this story. What is Jaire Alexander looking for, and how much are the Cowboys interested in bringing him in? Up next on How About Wow, Micah Parsons got on this social trend where friends call each other and wish each other good night. I've been thinking about doing this to you the last couple of nights, New Bear, but I know you're so socially aware that you would have sniffed this. But Lucius Alexander, our producer in the G-Bag Nation on 105 through the Fan 2 to 7 weekdays, introduced me to this trend like 10 days ago. And Micah Parsons jumped on it over the weekend. And we have a moment that is underscoring and putting a spotlight on the Brian Schottenheimer culture. Here's Micah. He's wrapping up with Cavante Turpin here, who was the funniest, and then we'll get into Shotty.
All right, good night, my dog.
What's up, bro? Good night, bro.
Good night,
Sleep
my
well.
dog. Hey, have a good night, my dog.
Here's
What up, buddy?
What up, coach?
What you doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, I just wanted to say good night.
Okay. I love that, bro. What's going on? Y'all good?
Hell yeah. I just feel like, as player to coach, just checking in on you, mental, say good night. Hope fans well. See you Monday. Excited about next week. Just a good night.
Well, good, man. Hey, look, I know this is weird for everybody, man, but look, you're handling everything the right way, bro. And this thing's going to get worked out. And, again, I'm thrilled to see where we take this thing, man. We're building something special, and you're going to be a huge part of it, bro.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, Shotty. Take a Shotty from me when you got a chance, man.
Hey, I'm drinking a Shotty right now, man. Get ready to hit it. Turn it for the night, brother.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I appreciate the call, man, for real. And I look forward to seeing you Monday, and it's going to be a great week.
Hell yeah. See you soon, coach.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Man, Brian Schottenheimer seems like the coolest guy to play for, doesn't he? I wrote over the weekend, and it's probably up on howboutwow.com soon. By the time you're watching this video, it definitely is. could Schottenheimer, what if Schottenheimer is the NFL's Oppenheimer? It's like a funny metaphor on, guys taking on challenges that the world doesn't think they can accomplish. Oppenheimer did it in 3 years. Could Schottenheimer have the same sort of timeline? But right there, listen to that cut, bro. I'm thinking more like Shoddy is McConaughey, but he is just like, all right, man, it's all good.
All right.
The vibes are immaculate, aren't they?
There's a recent study that came out. Did you see this talking about how friends who playfully insult each other are 300% more loyal and honest? Like, there's actual psychological research behind, a lot of these different cultural things. But the one that, I got a Kentucky thread going back, 25 years now, where, we just bang on each other. Every single message is like, oh my God, who's talking shit now, right? And there's actually psychological, mathematical, proof that talks about there's a reason why you forge, and then maintain those relationships over time. This is a little softer, a little sweeter, version of that, but what you're not seeing or what they're not putting on social hits a little bit harder, and then they're taking it to the next level.
It's one thing to be a player's coach, and I think a lot of times, New Bear, it's a trap for a guy that doesn't want to have the tough conversations or doesn't have the skill set. It's another when the guy is truly that charismatic and the players really love him.
He seems to be the dude, right? We were talking about Shoppy, right? Schottenheimer. Your article is really good, and I hope people really enjoy reading it, because I love the rabbit hole you went down. And what's really cool about it is whether it's McConaughey or whatever, all right, whatever quote, whatever meme, whatever GIF, whatever you like and whatever you want to come back to, or whatever you're texting to your friends, he seems like one of those dudes who's got something for everyone, right? Like, the thing was trending earlier this week where Pete Carroll was in receiver gloves getting down, trying to wrestle his defensive lineman. Schottenheimer's doing that same kind of stuff. He's walking around, high-fiving, fist bumping, but also, wrestling, throwing bows. Like, he's getting into it. So I think he dials it up and dials it down based on the individual player's personality.
All right, New Bear, great stuff. I got to run. It's mandatory minicamp week. We'll be back in a couple of days to react to all the news. Stay tuned for YouTube shorts and written words at howboutwow.com.